Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm gonna do a complimentary quad reaction, man. This complimentary quad is featuring the music of the band, and the songs are in succession as follows, starting with The Weight, followed by The Shape I'm In, followed by Up on Cripple Creek, and finally Stage Fright. So I just want to give a shout out and a thanks very much to Peter Q. Peter, thanks for the recommendations, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I know I've done, I believe it's a quad reaction to the band before, and it was a live performance. I believe it to be their final performance, I think. It was some time back, so it's a little bit fuzzy, but all the same, man, it's all good. This is a great band. I know that they're a fusion band, American and Canadian, and they have a kind of like a folk rock southern style, so I'm looking forward to it, man. So let's get this poppin', starting with The Weight. All right, the band, The Weight. Let's get it.
Just to call ourselves the band.
I pulled into Nazareth, just feeling about half-past dead. Just need to find a place where I can lay my head. Mister, can you tell me where a man might find a bed? He just grinned and shook my hand. No was all he said. Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny.
Picked up my bags and went looking for a place to hide. When I saw old Carmen and the devil walking side by side, I said, hey Carmen, come on, let's go downtown. She said, I gotta go, but my friend can stick around. Take a load off Fanny, take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny,
And put the load right on me. Go down, Moses, there's nothing that you can say. It's just old Luke, and Luke is waiting on the judgment day. Hey Luke, my friend, what about a young Anna Lee? He said, do me a favor, son, or won't you stay and keep Anna Lee company? Yeah. Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny. And put the load right on me.
Crazy Chester followed me, and he caught me in the fog. He said, I will fix your rack if you take old Jack, my dog. I said, wait a minute, Chester, you know I'm a peaceful man. He said, that's okay, boy, won't you feed him whenever you can? Come on.
Take a load off Fanny. Take a load for free. Take a load off Fanny. And load it right on me. Get your cannonball.
see live. Wow. Great jam, man. Excellent jam. Definitely one of those great bands up there where you have to see them performed live. And coming off, fresh off of the heels of the Allman Brothers and listening to their Fillmore East and their Idlewild South, damn, man. You know, the whole live thing really, really has its charm. Actually, speaking of that, man, I know I got a back-to-back coming up with the Allmans and the Grateful Dead. Of course, another great band that has to be experienced live. That's coming up in probably in the next week or so. And I can't remember who sent me the links, but yeah, I definitely have a back-to-back. And of course, it's a live jam back-to-back. Yeah, but getting back to these guys, man, the band, household name. And I know, of course, of this song. For a while, I didn't know who sang it, and then I did know who sang it, and then I forgot who sang it, you know. So, but yeah, I know that this song is a very, very quintessential and important song in the canons of rock and roll history and the great songs that impress a social movement and identity. That I know the importance of this particular song and how important this band is to many people. Yeah, so it was never ever a surprise getting the amount of requests and recommendations I've had over the last year for the band. And it's taken me a little bit long to get to them. Apologies there. But yeah, man, I know that they're a legendary band. And I believe it's Robbie Robertson, the guy who chiefly writes the music. He's definitely up there with some of the great songwriters as well. So man, let us do a little background. The background is just as important as the song. Every song has a story, and it's that unique story that makes this all great for me. There we go. So I'm gonna skip the intro of the band because I've done, I believe, 2 previous band reactions before, and I can't remember what particular performances and things and songs of things of that sort, but I'm pretty sure that this particular song, even this particular performance, was in the mix of those reactions. It seems familiar to me, but it's all good, man. You know, after doing it's over 500 reactions now, there's bound to be some overlap. Anyway, man, hey, let's check this out. The Wait. The Wait. The Wait is a song by Canadian-American folk rock group, The Band, that was released as Capitol Records single 2269 in 1968 and on the group's debut album Music from Big Pink. Written by band member Robbie Robertson, the song is about a visitor's experiences in a town mentioned in the lyrics' first line as Nazareth, which later inspired the name of the Scottish band which covered Love Hurts in '76. Funny enough, man, I just last week, I did a quad for Nazareth. The townspeople sent me this quad. The Wait. The Wait has significantly influenced American popular music, having been listed as number 41 on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time, published in 2004. Pitchfork Media named it the 13th best song of the 60s, and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame named it one of the 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. PBS, which broadcast performances of the song in Ramble at the Ryman in 2011, Austin City Limits in 2012, and Quick Hits in 2012, describes it as a masterpiece of biblical allusions, enigmatic lines, and iconic characters, and notes its enduring popularity as an essential part of the American songbook. All those accolades for one damn song. Well deserved, of course. Yeah, that's how important some songs are to people. Not just to people individually, but as a culture, as a social identity. Very, very important. This is what you call serious pedigree, this song here. All right, inspiration and influences. The inspiration for and influences affecting the composition of The Wait came from the music of the American South, the life experiences of band members, particularly Levon Helm, and movies of filmmakers Ingmar Bergman and Louis Buñuel, Bunuel. According to Robertson, this is based on Nazareth, Pennsylvania, because it was the home of Martin guitars. He wrote the guitar parts on a 1951 Martin D28. After Helm's passing in 2012, Robertson, who was raised in Canada, described how visits to the Memphis, Tennessee area around which Helm grew up affected him and influenced his songwriting. Okay, and here's a quote from Robbie. To me, going there was like going to the source, because I was at such a vulnerable age then. It made a real big impact on me. Just that I had the honor joining up with this group, and then even going to this place, which was close to a religious experience. Even being able to put my feet on the ground there, because I was from Canada, right? So it was like, whoa, this is where this music grows in the ground and flows from the Mississippi River. My goodness, it was very much affected by songwriting, and because I knew Levon's musicality so well, I wanted to write songs that I thought he could sing better than anybody in the world. While I was there, I was just gathering images and names and ideas and rhythms, and I was storing all of these things in my mind somewhere. And when it was time to sit down and write songs, when I reached into the attic to see what I was going to write about, that's what was there. I just felt a strong passion toward the discovery of going there, and it opened my eyes, and all my senses were overwhelmed by the feeling of that place. When I sat down to write songs, that's all I could think of at the time." Unquote. Wow. Yeah, it's really interesting how your creative faculties gets inspired to write, to create, to formulate. And very, very interesting with Robbie. It's a matter of course, true life experiences, going to a certain place, connecting to a certain place and the history and the feel. I can relate to that because I have a fascination with the Mississippi River. The very, very top of my bucket list is taking a Mississippi riverboat cruise. And I'm not just talking one damn cruise. I'm going upper, middle, and lower, probably 3 separate trips. But I want to experience the history. I want to experience the culture, all of those great things that shaped around the Mississippi. The bayou. I'm right now CCR's Artist of the Month. So all of these things are funneling down into my psyche, and it's really expediting my desire to want to go and experience it. So, of course, reading this Robbie's experience, that's really, really bringing it home to me somewhat more. So excellent. Good write up here, man. All right. So that was The Wait. So let's bounce to our second track, man. And that being The Shape I'm In. All right. The band, The Shape I'm In. Let's get it. A little too much sauce, brother.
Anybody seen my lady? Just let alone
cool to see them jamming live.
Years ago when we started with a guy you might have heard of.
Nice. Excellent. Great jam. Has to be experienced live. I'm gonna probably keep saying that about the band. But yeah, fantastic jamming band, man. And I know that Lee Von Helm, the drummer, has passed. I don't know what the status of the band is, if they have actually disbanded or if they are still doing some concerts and or recording or whatever it is. Yeah, I don't know, but let me know if you know your band history. What's going on with them? Where is everything at? Boy, because if there's a chance of actually being able to see these guys perform live, I gotta get there, man. Definitely. All right, so yeah, great jam. It's great to see them jamming and having a good time, man. And I don't know how long they've been together. I imagine probably since the 60s, but yeah, they look really, really connected and having a good time. All right, man. The Shape I'm In. Yeah, let's do a little read on that. Looks like, yeah, just a few paragraphs. The Shape I'm In. The Shape I'm In is a song by the band, first released on their 1970 album Stage Fright. It was written by Robbie Robertson, who did little to disguise the fact that the song's sense of dread and disillusion was about Richard Manuel, the song's principal singer. It became a regular feature in their concert repertoire, appearing on their live albums Rock of Ages, Before the Flood, and The Last Waltz. The Last Waltz. That's what I was doing reactions to. It was a while back, The Last Waltz, but I believe it was a complimentary quad that I was doing. Could have been, no, it wasn't a full album reaction, but I know that I had done a few reactions to The Last Waltz. And this particular performance, that might be from The Last Waltz in itself, but I don't remember this particular song in the lineup. Anyway, reading on. Author Neil Minturn described the song as straightforward rock. Along with The Weight, it's one of the band's songs most performed by other artists. It's been recorded by Bo Diddley, the Good Brothers, the Macons, Pointer Sisters, She and Him, and Marty Stewart, and so on and so on. It was also released as the B-side to their single, Time to Kill, and proved more popular than the hit side, recognized by Capitol Records in its promotion kit for the single. The mix used for the single is disputed, as the band had second thoughts about the work of initial engineer Todd Rundgren, and sent the tapes to be remixed by British engineer Glenn Johns. Most likely, it was the Johns mixes used for both the album and the single. The band drummer Lee Von Helm has written that the song is about desperation. Author Barney Hoskins describes it as a first-person account of winding up on Skid Row, positioning the sanctuary of rural life against the aggravation of hustling on the street. Critic Greil Marcus thought the song set the stage for the apocryphal political drama that is woven into the fabric of Stage Fright, although he didn't think the band ever pulled off this drama satisfactorily. Hoskins describes the music as being set to an insistent, crudely funky bass pulse. He describes Manuel's vocal as sounding appropriately frantic. Minturn particularly praised Robbie Robertson's guitar playing and Garth Hudson's organ. Hoskins points out that the end of Hudson's organ part quoted the vocal line from Bob Dylan's "I Pity the Poor Immigrant," noting that the quote may have been a coincidence, but also that it might be making a political point. Rolling Stone critic Dave Marsh called The Shape I'm In one of the most notably fine moments of the Stage Fright album. Critic Mark Kemp called it a highlight of the album, further noting that it reveals a growing sense of anxiety and cynicism by the band. And music critic Paul Evans praised the album, praised the penetrating psychological acuity of its writing. Okay. Great praise. Great song, great praises. The Shape I'm In. It's a really good funky jam. It could have went on longer. That's the only problem I had with it in that performance, is that they could have extended it much longer. But all the same, hey, all good things have to come to an end. Sometimes short and sweet works. Okay, man. So let's bounce to our third track, and that being Up on Cripple Creek. All right, the band, Up on Cripple Creek. Let's get it.
When I get off of this mountain, you know where I wanna go. Straight down the Mississippi River to the Gulf of Mexico, to Lake Charles, Louisiana, a little Bessie girl that I once knew. She told me just to come on by if there's anything she could do. Up on Cripple Creek, she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunkard stream, if I ever did see one. Well, now me and my mate were back at the shack. We had Spike Jones on the box. She said, I can't take the way he sang, but I love to hear him talk. Now there's one thing in the whole wide world I sure do love to see you. That's how that little sweet thing of mine puts a donut in my tea. I'm going up on Cripple Creek. Now she sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunkard stream, if I ever did see one. There's a flood out in California, and up north it's freezing cold. And this village off of the road is getting pretty old. So I guess I'll call up my big mama and tell her I'll be rolling in. But you know deep down, I'm sort of tempted to go and see my Bessie again. I'm going up on Cripple Creek. She sends me if I spring a leak. She mends me, I don't have to speak. She defends me, a drunkard stream, if I ever did see one. Don't know.
Excellent. Excellent performance, man. Up on Cripple Creek. Yeah, there we go again with another, I don't know, just as influential a song as The Wait, perhaps? Where do you measure those two songs? Tell me which one is the more important and prominent one for you. And tell me why, if you feel there's a reason why. Let me know. That'd be interesting. Yeah, fantastic tune, man. Great live jam. Not surprising there at all. And once again, they can extend that for a long, long time, man. Great harmony, good musicianship. They sound really, really good live, you know. Some acts just sound horrendous in a live setting, but these guys pull it off very well. All right, man. So, yeah, I'm just trying to find my page here. There we are. Yeah, let's do a little read up on Cripple Creek, man. This song's definitely got a very unique story, I'm sure. Up on Cripple Creek. Up on Cripple Creek is the fifth song on the band's eponymous second album, The Band. It was released as an edited single on Capitol 2635 in November of '69 and reached number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100. Up on Cripple Creek was written by band guitarist Robbie Robertson with drummer Levon Helm singing lead vocal. In a 76 live performance of Up on Cripple Creek appears in the band's concert film The Last Waltz, as well as on the accompanying soundtrack album. In addition, live performances of the song appear on Before the Flood, which records the band's 1974 tour with Bob Dylan, as well as on the 2001 expanded edition of Rock of Ages, originally released in '72. Up on Cripple Creek is notable as it's one of the first instances of a Hohner clarinet being played with a wah-wah pedal. The riff can be heard after each chorus of the song. The clavinet, especially in tandem with a wah-wah pedal, was a sound that became famous in the early to mid-70s, especially in funk music. The band performed the song on the Ed Sullivan Show in November of '69. Okay, yeah, let's bounce down to lyrics and music. Drawing upon the band's musical roots, the American South, American rock and roll, and bluegrass/country, the song is sung from the point of view of a truck driver who goes to Lake Charles, Louisiana, to stay with a local girl, Bessie, with whom he has a history. In the song, he gambles, drinks, listens to music, and spends time with little Bessie, who takes an active role in the goings-on while expressing her opinions, further endearing herself to the narrator. At the end of the song, after exhausting himself on the road, he talks about going home to his woman, Big Mama, but is tempted to return to Bessie again. Now, he may not be cheating, because truckers also use the term Big Mama to refer to their dispatcher over the CB radio. Concerns about the weather in other parts of the country and the line, quote, "this life of living on the road," suggests over-the-road trucking. At the start of the song, he's hauling logs off a mountain, and at the end, he may be weighing options, rolling in to home base for a new cargo or seeing his Bessie again. Robertson has said of the song, and here's a quote from Robbie Robertson again, quote, "We're not dealing with the people at the top of the ladder. We're saying, what about that house out there in the middle of that field? What does that guy think? With that one light up on upstairs and that truck parked out there. That's who I'm curious about, what's going on in there, and just following the story of this person. And he just drives these trucks across the whole country, and he knows these characters that he drops in on his travels. So just following him with a camera is really what this song is all about," unquote. AllMusic critic Bill Janowitz describes the melody as light and catchy, also stating that the song has a New Orleans groove. Janowitz also regards the non-traditional funky style of Garth Hudson's clavinet playing a precursor of Stevie Wonder's similar keyboarding style played on Superstition. The hip-hop duo Gang Starr sampled the rhythm track on their own song, Beyond Comprehension. Yeah, okay, I know that track. All right, yeah, so that's the Wikipedia song fact info on Up on Cripple Creek. Really, really good review, good praise, and yeah, very, very interesting. The comparisons of the clavinet being the precursor to Stevie Wonder's keyboarding style and superstition. I'm gonna have to do a back-to-back and check that out. All right, man. So that is our third track. Let's bounce to our final track, and that being Stage Fright. All right, Stage Fright. Let's get it.
Deep in the heart of a lonely kid, suffered so much for what he did. They gave this poor boy his fortune and fame. Since that day he ain't been the same. See the man with a stage fright, just standing up there to give it all his might. He got caught in the spotlight, but when we get to the end, he wants to start all over again. I've got fire, water, rain on my breath, and the doctor warned me I might catch a death. He said you could make it in your disguise, just never show the fear in your eyes. I see the man with a stage fright, just standing up there to give it all his might. He got caught in the spotlight, but when we get to the end, he wants to start all over again. Now when he says that he's afraid, won't you take him at his word? And for the price that the poor boy's paid, well, he gets to sing just like a bird.
They're saying about themselves. Someone in that band has pretty serious stage fright.
Well, my brow is sweating and my mouth gets dry. They see people go drifting by. Well, the moment of truth is right at hand. Just one more nightmare you could stand. I see the man with a stage fright, just standing up there to give it all his might. He got caught in the spotlight, but when we get to the end, well, he wants to start all over again. No, 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 let's not make him stop. Just let him take it from the top.
Excellent. Excellent. Another great thing that I like about the band is that they are very, very good storytellers. It's one of those things that I'm seeing that pattern from a lot of bands inspired from the Southern rock genre. They're very, very good storytellers. I think it's just the platform of that style. It just lays the foundation and the allowance for them to express themselves a certain way and tell great stories. Every single one of these songs in this quad have an excellent, excellent story attached to it, relatable to, you know. I like just that very, very plain, simple approach to music making, musicianship, playing and harmonizing that the Southern rock and even the, you know, in their case, the folk rock genre allows. I really, really like that. And I've said it a million times that the rock platform, the classic rock platform, you know, overlapping into folk rock, Southern rock, what have you, it allows you, I think, to say a lot more. It allows you to say a lot more, whether it's social, political, or whatever kind of statement you're trying to make, more so than other platforms, more so than other genres, you know? That's what I think anyway. And still, to this point, I'm still holding Steely Dan in the highest regard as being the best storytellers in rock and roll. I'm sure that there's someone who's going to come along and match them, give them a run for their money, like the band here, for sure. They're definitely in contended. But yeah, man, the rock platform, being jazz rock, Southern rock, folk rock, just a great, great platform to express yourself very well. And that's what I really appreciate about the band, you know, telling great stories, among other things. So, Stage Fright. So yeah, there we go. So let's do a little read on Stage Fright, man. Yeah, not as much information here as the other songs, but we'll read that too. 3 short paragraphs. So, Stage Fright is the title track of the band's third album, Stage Fright. It features Rick Danko on lead vocals and was written by Robbie Robertson. According to author Barney Hoskins, Robertson originally intended it to be sung by Richard Manuel, but it became clear that the song was better suited to Danko's nervous, tremulous voice. Live performances of the song appear on Rock of Ages, released in '72, and on Before the Flood, a live album of the band's '74 tour with Bob Dylan. It was also performed at The Last Waltz. The studio version was released as a single in Denmark. The live version from Before the Flood was released as the B-side of Dylan's Most Likely You Go Your Own Way and I'll Go Mine single in '74. According to AllMusic critic William Ruhlman, the lyrics are about the pitfalls of fame and fortune. Author Neil Mitturn regards the subject of the lyrics to be the history of the band itself. Yeah, definitely. The band drummer Levon Helm has written that the song is about the terror of performing. Others believe that the lyrics refer to Bob Dylan, who had stopped touring live during the late 60s. Author David Yaffe suggests that Stage Fright could have been written about Dylan or about Robbie Robertson himself. Author Barney Hoskins acknowledges speculation that the song is about Dylan, but states that it's actually about Robertson's experience on his own stage fright at the band's first live show the prior year. Okay, so it's about Robbie Robertson. Time magazine praised the song's image of a plowboy who, in opening of the song, received his fortune and fame, but since that day, he ain't been the same. Helm regarded the song as a showpiece for lead singer and bassist Rick Danko, particularly in the use of a fretless bass, which, according to Helm, gave the rhythm section a different feel. Music critic Ralph J. Gleason considered Stage Fright to be the best song ever written about performing. Music critic Paul Evans praised the penetrating psychological acuity of its writing. Rolling Stone critic Dave Marsh called it one of the most notably fine moments of the Stage Fright album. All right. Great praise from critics all around. Fantastic, man. Yeah, hey, this was really an excellent, solid quad. Every single song on it is very well crafted and well thought out. So thank you very much, Peter. I appreciate it, man. Excellent quad. Excellent grouping of songs. And Yeah, so, oh yeah, what was I going to say about the band? I know that I had done reactions, and I believe it to be the last waltz. I'm going to have to go back into my catalog and try to find that particular reaction, and of course who sent it to me and what those songs are, and to kind of make a list so that if I get future requests for the band, that I can touch base with that person recommending those songs and say, hey, maybe you might want to pick something else because I've already done this. So now after 500 reactions, I can see it starting to kind of overlap, especially with the band as popular as the band. So that's what I'm going to be doing from now on with a lot of groups and music and things of that sort. So yeah, so that was my little note to myself. So going forward, man, where are we? This is Saturday. And getting into a new week. Yeah, I'm just scrolling down to my notes here. I got a lot going on this upcoming week, man. Damn. I got a back-to-back coming up. That's of Tommy Bolin and Jeff Beck. Of course, I've got CCR's second album coming up, Bayou Country. Today's Saturday. So, yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be hitting that. I'm going to be hitting Never Say Die. That's the Black Sabbath album, the last one with Ozzy. Yeah, I got a Zeppelin coming up, and I'm going to do it on the day of Jimmy Page's birthday, and that being on the 9th. So yeah, I'll be doing that on the 9th. And speaking of birthdays, David Bowie's birthday is on the 8th. So I'm going to be doing a tribute to David Bowie on the 8th. And I'm going to be checking out some of the links that Amy Brooks sent me. So thanks for that in advance, Amy. A couple of Patreon exclusives. So where it comes to complimentary quads, I believe Rico43, you're up next, and then Charles Hogue and Nick Lawrence. So I got a couple of quads coming up. Now, just a little footnote about complimentary quads, man. At this point, I should be all caught up with complimentary quads in regards to my first initial patrons. So if you are a patron and you have been with me for longer than 2 months, and you have not received your complimentary quad reaction, that means that you have fallen through the cracks, and I more than likely have lost your complimentary quad. I'm talking about your initial complimentary quad. Silver package and up, the people paying $5 and higher, that's you. So if you have sent me recommendations for a quad and you have not yet received it, apologies, I did something dumb and I've probably lost your complimentary quad. Please get in touch with me, because by now I should be caught up to all of those folks who have been with me longer than 2 months, right? So if that's you, please get a hold of me. I don't consider that pestering at all, okay? Yeah, and in regards to quads, let me just hit you with this. Even though you join as a patron, right, and you get a complimentary quad, that doesn't mean that we're done. It's an ongoing relationship. So how I want to conduct this affair with you is you get your initial complimentary quad. And of course, we make way for other people coming in and that sort of thing. And I kind of go by that kind of priority and consideration. But it doesn't mean that we're done. It doesn't mean that you never will ever get another reaction out of me. You know what I'm saying? Just understand, of course, that you're going to have to wait a little while based on what's going on in my life and other people coming in, how many patrons I've got, all of that sort of thing. You understand, right? So if you are someone, like I said, who has not received your complimentary quad yet, and you've been with me longer than 2 months, get a hold of me. The people who I'm going to be doing repeat quads for, they understand this already and they'll wait, right? But you're the priority, so get a hold of me. And so at this point, I consider myself to be caught up, and I've got another, 6 complimentary quads to go for new members, and then some recurring complimentary quads for previous members. So I consider myself caught up unless somebody gets a hold of me and say, hey, I have not got my complimentary quad yet. But I understand too, no pressure here. I understand that there are some patrons who just like to support me and they don't want to have to go through the process of sending me links and recommendations. They're just enjoying the journey, and so fine, there's no pressure. So don't feel that I'm poking you and pressuring you into, oh, you must send me a complimentary quad recommendation. No, thank you very much for the support, and thank you for just being a part of the experience and taking this walk with me into rock and roll. But don't ever feel that I'm pressuring you for a complimentary quad. Now, having said that, I am pressuring you, patrons, to supply me with Patreon exclusive content. So every single patron, from bronze all the way up, you can send me as many as many Patreon exclusive recommendations as you want. That's having to do with live performances. Okay, so I mean, we just did a lot of the full album reactions for Allman Brothers, for example, and we just finished doing the debut for CCR. If you've got some great complimentary live performances of those, send them my way. You know what I'm saying? I'll put it on the calendar. So all patrons can send me as many patron exclusives as you want to. Okay, so that is a little bit of pressure that I'm going to put on you, but otherwise you don't have to be committed to sending me complimentary quad recommendations. That's just solely on you if you feel like. Okay, all right, so that's my update, man. Yeah, a lot going on, as you can see. So that's my rundown for all of next week, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to the birthdays especially, and definitely getting into CCR, their second album. Great showing for their first debut, and of course, as we all know, it gets much better as we go along. So I'm looking forward to getting all 7 studio albums done, and definitely, man, send me a couple of Patreon exclusives, or sorry, Patreon exclusives, so we can check out some live content as well. That'd be really cool. Anyway, that is my reaction to this great quad. Thanks again, Peter. I appreciate it. And yeah, man, so the next complimentary quad, I believe that's Rico 43's quad. So look for that in a couple of days, all right? So you guys have yourselves a good one, and I'll catch you in my next complimentary quad. Peace.